Disney List time is here, and this time the Disney List is all about what you should know as a first visitor to the Walt Disney World Resort. Here with us this week to talk all things first-time tips, Tyler Crouch, Katrina Manzoni, Garrett Hassel, all with us today to talk just exactly what you should be thinking about if you have never once made it to Disney World, but you are planning on it. There is an awful lot to know, I know. Katrina, let's start with you. What are some of the things you would share with a first-timer coming to the Walt Disney World Resort?
Oh my God, there's so many things. It's like overwhelming, Disney World.
It is overwhelming.
It is a beast in itself, especially with the new rules now. But I would honestly, for a newcomer that goes into Disney World, I would highly recommend staying on property. It may be a little bit expensive, but there's so many different hotels that you can choose from between like Art of Animation or like the lower end, but you can still get like a suite for your family and stuff. Because honestly, driving there is, I know people want to try to cut corners and try to stay off-site at a hotel or something, and there are hotels that have like off-site, like, buses and stuff that can take you to Disney World, and that's fine. But a lot of people think that they should park and maybe stay at Universal and then drive over. And driving on the 4 is a Looney Tune experience. Like, I don't know who designed it. A Looney Tune designed their freeways. It's ridiculous.
Perhaps,
yeah. And
chaos invented it.
It is a nightmare if you've never, I know people drive around everywhere, but for some reason I get so much anxiety. And then especially going around the Disney resorts and stuff, because again, you have to pay to park, and then you have to take a tram. The tram, if you go to Disney World or Magic Kingdom, it's like a nightmare in itself. It's like a 45 to an hour experience just to get from parking to the park. So I would highly recommend just staying on property, taking the bus system. Yes, it may take a little longer every now and then, or if you're able to swing like an Uber every now and then to get to places like immediately, then that's fine. It's like a $10 Uber ride. But I would highly recommend it so you don't have to worry about, you just park your car. If you want to take a car from the airport to the hotel, park your car, but just use their bus system to get around easier, because their roadways it's not crazy, it's just like a lot, and you have to make sure you pay attention or you miss the exit.
There's a lot of turnpikes and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of turnpikes, and it's just a lot. But if you go a lot, then you'll be like, I can rent a car, it's fine. But then my second would be research your dining. I know a lot of people just show up day of and are just like, okay, let's just swing it, and that's fine. But if you have a family and you really want to make a great experience and you want to try to be on a budget, figure out what dining you really want to do most, and then maybe try to fit that in. If you want to go to Epcot and you want to do like Teppan, or if you want to go to Space 220, try to fit that in, and then know what you want to do, and then learn about mobile ordering and research what kind of foods you like to eat, and know what's available to you day of. So you're not at the park just standing around for an hour all trying to decide where you want to eat, and then one person wants a hot dog and one person wants a hamburger, one person wants barbecue, one person wants this. At least where you can possibly go to try to get everything. Or at least know to mobile order ahead of time, so then everybody can split up, order their food, and then come back at a mutual meeting spot. Because every minute counts at Disney World, and if you're waiting for an hour trying to figure out where you want to eat for mobile ordering, that's just waste of time. So I would highly recommend just knowing what you have available to eat, and then even going to Disney Springs for a night just to kind of go do a dining experience there, because there's so many dining options at Disney Springs that a lot of people miss what Disney Springs is about, and they think that they need to eat inside the park all the time. So just know your dining, because that is, for me, it's very important because I like to eat.
Well, it's a big business. It's a huge business when it comes to Disney World property and Disneyland in particular. Absolutely experiences that you should think about well in advance, and certainly jump on the window of opportunity that you have to book those reservations, because the more popular restaurants always tend to book out. Tyler, on over to you. First visit tips.
Yeah, so I think I feel like in the past few shows I've always kind of harped on this piece of information, but the place is big. It's a huge place, and so just remember when it's your first time going to Disney World that you're gonna need to set aside time for traveling, because it really is a big place. And if you're staying at one of the resorts, you can take the buses or perhaps a Skyway or something like that. But if you're waiting for a bus or a monorail or something, they say the buses are supposed to come by every 20 minutes. I've seen it take a lot longer than that. And especially if you're somebody who needs like special attention and you maybe have a wheelchair or an ECV or something like that. Sometimes you'll have to wait 2 or 3 buses to even be able to fit on the bus. And just, so you're looking at, sometimes it'll take you 45 minutes to an hour just to get to one of the parks.
Pack your patience.
Yeah.
Big time.
And I know this is like a luxury thing, but if you can swing it, I actually prefer renting a car when I go. And if you're staying at one of the resorts, you can get free parking at the theme parks. It comes with your resort. So it's one of those things where because when you're on this vacation and you're spending thousands of dollars, it's your first, maybe your last time, or maybe you're not going to go for years and years and years. Time is money. And I think spending a little bit more money to be able to do as much as you can makes sense to me. I know not everybody can do that, but I think that's just something to keep in mind. And then my other thing too is like, let's just be straight up. Florida sucks. Like, it really does. Like, I mean, I would never go to Florida if it didn't have, if it wasn't like one of the tourism capitals of America, or Orlando, I should say. But remember that, especially during the summer and even just during most of the year in general, it's so freaking hot, and you're going to be stuck on Disney property, and they're going to charge you $5-6 for some water. What I'd like to do is order either through Amazon or even stop at a grocery store on the way to the resort, and you just get a couple cases of water for your family, and you pack those into backpack, because trust me, it's going to make you miserable throughout the day if you don't have a bunch of water at your fingertips. And if you don't, and if you're going to pay for the water, that right there, I mean, by the time you're done on your trip, you're going to spend more money paying for Disney water than if you just like take an Uber to a grocery store real quick, if that's the choice you want to make.
And also remember, electrolytes are very important for people that are not used to like wet heat, where you're going to be sweating profusely. Like, even when you walk out of the resort, you'll just start drenched sweat. And if you're not used to it, like we're used to dry heat, it's unbearable. And probably 2 hours in, you'll feel very faint, and you'll probably go into heat exhaustion. Even if you're drinking tons of water, you still need to take electrolytes. So think about that. So like Pedialyte, maybe some Powerade, mix it with some water and take it with you, or even do like, liquid IV packets and then just keep them with you, because it helps a lot.
Smart
And
tip.
I think a lot of people don't think about that when they're on vacation. They think it's just because you're going all the time and you're just sweating all the time.
Because again, that's one of the ways to really waste money. And by the way, the water that Disney carries is Dasani water and Smart Water, which are both owned by Coca-Cola, and they do not have. They say like Smart Water even says like, added electrolytes and things like that. It's really not that high on the scale of things. It's not the smartest of waters to choose from, to be honest. And Dasani's even worse. So if you really want, to be hydrated and feel good, even go buy some Arrowhead at the store, because Arrowhead is even better for you than Dasani and things like that. So any kind of natural spring water is better than tap water. Anyway, I'm getting far into the weeds now.
It's quite all right. These tips are important, especially if you're heading to a place like Disney World and spending a small fortune to be a part of a Disney World vacation. No doubt you want to make the most of it, don't you? Sometimes the weeds are where it's most important, that's for sure. And water those weeds with the right type of water. Not Dasani, that's for sure. We move along now. Garrett, you are Mr. Walt Disney World. Tips for first-timers. What do you think?
Lived in Florida for over 5 years. 4 of those years didn't have AC in my car, so I know.
What? I didn't know that. Jeez.
Ugh.
He drove me around one time. I felt it.
There,
That's miserable.
You peel yourself off the seat.
the AC broke in my car. I went to 3 different places. It's like, no, you just need a recharge. Got the recharge. No, actually, you need this, this, and this. I'm like, screw it. I'm just gonna get a new car. Got a new car. With
Okay.
AC.
Then moved to Nebraska.
As Tyler said, it's a massive place. It's roughly the size of San Francisco or 2 Manhattans, over 40 square miles. There's a lot to go. And with that, the parks are spread apart. So my first point is research the theme parks prior. Don't just be like, I want to see Mickey. No, you need to know which park you're going to on what day, because every park offers something different. If you want to do Star Wars, don't go to Magic Kingdom thing. It's just like Disneyland. They have Galaxy's Edge. It's going to be dead wrong. It's going to be disappointed. You're not going to see Darth Vader. You're not going to see Kylo Ren. You're not going to see Tyler favorite Smuggler's Run. All right, you're just not.
Thank God.
So please research the parks in advance, and then also if you have very little ones, I typically say Epcot, they might not enjoy it unless they want an educational experience. If they just want to go on rides and, eat chicken tenders, Magic Kingdom does it for you. But Epcot, I think, is definitely, I love Epcot. It's my favorite park at Walt Disney World, but a 3-year-old's not going to have fun there. It's just going to be hot and sweaty. It's the biggest park besides Kilimanjaro Safari, included in Animal Kingdom. So yeah, do your research on the parks, and to, I guess, save you some time and money, similar to Tyler's, bring some snacks, bring some water, bring your own little, your own Camelback or something like that, because Disney has tons of free water solutions, such as you go to a food and beverage quick service and you say, hey, can I please get 5 cups of water? They will give you 5 cups of water. Don't spend money on Dasani. I'm a water snob. It's not real water. It's tap water. Off that soapbox, you can bring snacks in. I've got little cousins that have, allergies and stuff. Some people think I can only buy Disney stuff. No, you can bring in your own snack stuff. You can't bring in, a charcoal grill to grill hot dogs on Main Street. You can't do that. I know it's
what is this, Disney Springs? Come on.
Absolutely. I've actually seen that before. It's actually very interesting. You had a bunch of security guards being you can't have an open fire, but bring snacks, bring that stuff, bring towels and sunscreen, people. If you are not from a warm and sunny place, please bring a sunscreen. I'm talking about you Midwesterners. I love you all.
Yeah.
But
I
you
get
don't
decimated
know heat
by the sun.
Florida
Right.
heat. It's nasty. It's mean. I have a nice olive skin tone, but I've burned plenty of times to know now.
And
that
reapply.
Sunscreen it up. Reapply. Don't get that SPF 10 stuff. Don't bring bronzer. SPF 50 to 1000. Or have chewy Wookiee-like fur that covers your whole body.
Or a
You're gonna be
huge
sweating,
hat.
but at least you'll be covered.
Gigantic hat
Yes.
would also be helpful.
Gigantic hat.
It'll help
those
with
little
people
towels that you
space,
can
too.
snap.
Oh,
Yeah, you just be protected against that sun. That it sneaks up on you, and be prepared for a monsoon in the middle of the day around 3 o'clock for about 45.
Sounds
After
fun.
that, it's going to heat up again. But yeah, if you need a shower, the rain will come if it's a warm
Then
rain.
you can use your
warm
big sombrero
rain.
hat and then use it as a boat and then just glide your way down Main Street.
It's a new experience of Splash Mountain.
It's quite the tropical climate, that's for sure. Very good, and now we turn it on over to you. First time tips for Walt Disney World visitors. What would you suggest if you've been there? We would love to hear your suggestions. Throw them on down into our comments section. As always, we appreciate hearing your perspective.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.